I used to think Jackie Kennedy's style was just pearls and pillbox hats. But when I looked closer at her tailoring, her colors, her structure, I realized something. Her style still works beautifully for women over 50. In this video, I'm sharing how I borrow her smartest tricks. And wait until the end, there's one detail she used that completely changed how I shop. Now let's start with one of Jackie Kennedy's most subtle but powerful fashion strategies: her tailoring. She didn't just wear clothes that fit, she wore clothes that framed. That's a very different approach from what we're used to seeing today. We've been told for years that fitted equals flattering, but over time, I've learned there's a real art to how clothes follow the body, rather than hug it. And that's exactly what Jackie mastered. Think about her signature coats and suits, the way her jackets skimmed the waist and sat perfectly on the shoulders, or how her dresses always had just enough room at the midsection but never looked baggy. It wasn't about being tight, it was about being precise. That kind of structure creates clean lines that naturally lift and shape your frame. For women over 50, who might want a little more structure around the waist or shoulders without discomfort, this kind of cut is a game changer. I used to buy things based on how stretchy they were. Elastic this, spandex that. But stretch doesn't always flatter. It follows every contour, whether we want it to or not. Tailoring, on the other hand, is all about control. I now look for blazers with a slight nip at the waist, dresses with strategic darts, and coats with firm shoulder seams. These tiny design elements do so much to add polish and presence to your look, even if the outfit is simple underneath. Now here's the truth. Sometimes you won't find the perfect fit off the rack. That's okay. Jackie often had her clothes altered. I've gotten comfortable taking items to the tailor to adjust sleeve lengths, bring in a waist, or even add structure to a relaxed dress. One of my favorite tricks is having darts added to a top that's a bit too flowy. It instantly makes it look more intentional and high-end. Don't underestimate what a tiny nip and tuck can do. And tailoring isn't just for formal wear. I do this with my everyday blouses, my light summer jackets, and even certain casual trousers. When something is shaped for you, not just on you, it gives you that effortless elegance Jackie was known for. So if you've been feeling like your clothes aren't quite doing you justice lately, don't look for something tighter. Look for something better cut. If you're not sure where to start, focus on one staple piece. A single, well-tailored blazer can elevate everything from jeans to shift dresses. I keep one in a soft ivory tone that I layer over everything. It's got shoulder definition, waist shaping, and hits just right at the hip. And trust me, I always get compliments when I wear it, even if the rest of the outfit is basic. That's the power of good tailoring. It does the talking for you. And next, there's one more style habit Jackie Kennedy practiced that's worth borrowing. She always had a signature piece. Whether it was her pillbox hat, her oversized sunglasses, or a particular silhouette she returned to again and again, Jackie used consistency to create identity. And I think that's something incredibly valuable, especially as we get older and start curating wardrobes that reflect who we really are, not just what the stores are pushing this season. Having a signature piece doesn't mean wearing the same thing every day. It means having one reliable item or category that people associate with you. Maybe it's a structured handbag in a certain shape, or a specific neckline that flatters your shoulders perfectly. Maybe it's a favorite color you build around, or the way you always layer a scarf, even in the warmer months. For me, it's my oversized sunglasses and tailored coats. I always feel grounded when I wear them. They give me that sense of, this is me, no matter what else I'm wearing. What's interesting is that Jackie's signature pieces weren't always flashy. They were thoughtful. They were repeated. And that's the secret. Repetition creates recognition. It makes your style feel personal, not like you're following a formula, but like you found something that works and made it your own. The best part? It simplifies getting dressed. When you have that signature element, it becomes a style anchor you can build around effortlessly. This is especially helpful if you're going through a phase of editing your wardrobe, or if you're trying to invest in fewer but better pieces. Think about what makes you feel the most you. What do you reach for over and over? What do people compliment you on without fail? That's your clue. You don't need to reinvent your style, just refine it. Jackie used fashion as a form of self-branding before the term even existed. That's why her looks remain iconic today. So if you've been overwhelmed by trends or unsure where to focus your fashion energy, try building around your signature. I've dropped a few items in the description box that could serve as signature pieces. Clean-lined sunglasses, sleek flats, classic jackets, each one chosen for their ability to add consistency and presence to your look. And here's something I noticed once I embraced this idea. Having a signature piece actually gives you more freedom, not less. It's the opposite of being stuck in a style box. Once I realized that my oversized sunglasses and structured jackets made me feel my best, I didn't have to second-guess every trend or overthink every outfit. I just asked myself, does this go with my style? And that one question saved me so much time and so many regret purchases. That's the real beauty of a signature. It acts like your fashion compass. And I promise, once you find yours, dressing well becomes so much easier. Now let's talk about another Jackie favorite that's quietly powerful: monochrome dressing. This is one of those techniques that looks incredibly chic without requiring any complicated styling, and it's especially flattering for women over 50. Jackie wore full-color looks often. She wasn't afraid of going head-to-toe in white, pale yellow, navy, or even blush. But it was never loud. It was refined. And more importantly, it visually lengthened her frame. The beauty of monochrome is that it draws the eye vertically. When your top, pants, and outer layer are all in similar tones, it creates one continuous line. No break, no distraction, just flow. That's especially helpful as we get older and may want to appear taller or more streamlined without wearing high heels or shapewear. I've done this with all kinds of colors, from camel to dove gray to navy, and the results are always more elegant than mixing and matching separates. But here's what makes it interesting. Jackie never looked flat or washed out, even when she wore all one color. Why? Because she played with texture. Think about an ivory wool dress with a matching silk scarf and leather gloves, or a soft pink suit with pearl accents. The color stays consistent, but the light hits each material differently. That variation adds depth and richness, and it makes monochrome feel intentional, not lazy. So when I wear a full tonal look now, I always make sure there's a bit of play, linen against cotton, or matte fabric with something slightly glossy. And if you're someone who worries that monochrome will be boring or too formal, don't. I've worn monochrome casually with jeans and a knit sweater in the same wash of beige, topped with a trench. It works because the color unifies everything and lets your accessories stand out. You can still wear sneakers or a flat sandal. You just look put together in a soft, quiet way. Monochrome doesn't scream. It whispers sophistication. A great tip I've learned. When building a monochrome look, start with what you already wear the most. If you love navy, look for a navy blouse that pairs with your existing trousers, then build from there. You don't need to get it perfect. Shades can vary a little, especially if you're mixing fabrics. In fact, it looks more high-end when they do. That's something stylists actually use to keep monochrome from looking too matchy-matchy. If you're not sure where to start or which colors to build around, I've added links to some really great pieces in the description box below. These are sets, tops, trousers, and layering pieces that work beautifully together or on their own, handpicked for flattering fit, comfort, and that Jackie-level elegance. You'll find soft ivory knits, warm-toned blouses, and structured trousers that help create that long, uninterrupted line Jackie wore so well. Now let's move into something Jackie Kennedy was truly a master of: accessories. She didn't pile them on, and she didn't rotate through hundreds of trendy items each season. Instead, she chose a few iconic, intentional pieces and let them speak for her. And I think for women over 50, that kind of confidence and simplicity can be so freeing. You don't need to over-accessorize to make an impact. You just need the right accessory doing the talking. Think about Jackie's oversized sunglasses. The moment you saw them, you knew they belonged to her. They framed her face, added a bit of mystery, and instantly elevated whatever she was wearing. Even something as casual as a turtleneck and slacks. That's the kind of accessory that becomes your signature. I started wearing a pair of large tortoiseshell frames years ago, and I can't tell you how many times someone said, "Those look so you." That's when you know it's working. Then there were her gloves. Sometimes she wore them for formality, yes, but also for finesse. They added structure, posture, and presence. These days, I wear gloves more selectively, often for winter events or dressier outings. But I've noticed how even a soft leather glove in a rich tone can make the entire outfit feel more composed. And it's not about going vintage or overly retro. It's about taking inspiration from Jackie and updating it to fit your own lifestyle. Another Jackie classic? The scarf. Whether it was tied under her chin, draped over her shoulders, or tucked into a collar, she used scarves as punctuation marks in her outfits. And they're surprisingly useful. I use them to add a pop of color to a monochrome look, to soften the neckline of a blazer, or to wrap around my bag handle for that little extra detail. Silk scarves, in particular, age beautifully and never go out of style. And we can't skip the handbags. Jackie adored structured top-handle bags. She carried them with intention. Today, I love a croc-embossed leather bag with a clean silhouette. Not too large, not too fussy. Just sleek, graceful, and strong. I've found that when you carry a bag like that, it changes how you walk, how you move. It's not just an accessory, it's part of your expression. And for women in our 50s and beyond, expressing elegance without effort is exactly what we want. When I started thinking like Jackie, choosing fewer, more intentional accessories, I stopped buying things I'd only wear once. Now, my closet is filled with well-loved, go-to pieces that feel timeless but still personal. So next time you're reaching for 3 different items to complete an outfit, pause and ask, what's the one item that can do all the talking? That's your Jackie moment. And just so you don't have to hunt endlessly, I've added links in the description box to a few of my favorite Jackie-inspired accessories. These are pieces I personally use, or that have that same classic energy. Think softly oversized sunglasses, clean-lined handbags, and scarves with just the right pop. Now let's talk about the dress that truly defined Jackie Kennedy's signature style, the shift dress. It's one of those wardrobe staples that might seem too simple at first glance, but once you put one on, you get it. The shift dress is smart, it's elegant, and it doesn't cling, tug, or try to fix your body. It just frames it beautifully. And for those of us over 50, that's exactly the kind of energy we want in our daily dressing. Jackie wore shift dresses everywhere, from the White House to vacations in Hyannisport. She used them as a canvas for her accessories, yes, but also as a quiet power statement. Shift dresses allow your personality and your posture to do the work. I love how they graze the body without squeezing it. There's room to move, to breathe, and still look completely intentional. It's the kind of dress you can wear to brunch and to an art gallery without needing to change a thing. Over the years, I've found that not all shift dresses are created equal. The cut is everything. You want one with slight tailoring through the shoulders and bust, but a gentle release through the waist and hips. The length should hit just above the knee or mid-calf, long enough to be flattering, short enough to keep things fresh. I tend to go for fabrics that hold shape, like linen blends, ponte knit, or structured cotton, because they don't cling or collapse. And here's the magic. Shift dresses work year-round. In the summer, I pair mine with woven flats and a straw bag. In the fall, I throw on a cropped jacket and ankle boots. And when I want to dress it up, I add a bold earring or a neck scarf, and suddenly it feels like an entirely new look. Jackie understood that simplicity gave her options, and that's why the shift dress never left her wardrobe. There's also something empowering about a dress that doesn't demand effort. When I'm in a rush or just not feeling my best, I reach for a shift dress, and it always saves me. It smooths out the day, somehow. It lets me focus on me, not on fidgeting with my outfit. And honestly, after 50, that kind of ease is everything. That's what makes the shift dress a quiet power piece. It works with you, not against you. If you've been avoiding dresses because you're worried about fit, shape, or age, start here. Try one. I've included a few shift dress options I personally love in the description box below, in colors and cuts that feel fresh but classic. They're forgiving, elegant, and best of all, they're easy. Now I'm curious, have you worn a shift dress lately? Or is it something you've avoided for a while? Let me know in the comments below. I love hearing how you all style these pieces and make them your own. Let's talk about something Jackie wore that we rarely think of anymore. Mid-length gloves. Now before you scroll past thinking, gloves? Really? Hear me out, because this is one of those forgotten style tools that can completely transform your outfit. Jackie didn't only wear gloves because of weather or formality. She used them as part of her overall aesthetic. They added refinement, intention, and a kind of poise that we don't see often these days, but could really use more of. She wore gloves in spring, summer, fall, you name it. They weren't always practical, but they were always purposeful. A pale glove peeking out of a 3/4 sleeve jacket, instantly polished. A soft leather glove against a monochrome wool coat. Suddenly, the entire look feels couture. Even without jewelry, the gloves became an accessory. I started incorporating gloves again, just here and there, and I was honestly shocked by the compliments. They don't make you look outdated. They make you look composed. And there's something about how gloves change your behavior. When I wear them, I stand straighter. I move more deliberately. I carry my handbag differently. Jackie understood that accessories aren't just visual, they're behavioral. Gloves create boundaries in a beautiful way. They say, I'm here, I'm dressed, and I'm intentional. And at this stage in life, that kind of quiet strength in our wardrobe is incredibly empowering. The best part? Gloves are surprisingly versatile if you choose the right style. I love a buttery soft leather in cream or tan for cooler months, and an unlined cotton or lace pair for spring events. Don't save them for weddings or galas. I've worn mine to brunch, to the theater, even to casual get-togethers with a simple coat and boots. The contrast alone adds sophistication to otherwise everyday pieces. If you're new to the idea, start with one pair, something neutral, something that matches your coat or complements your scarf. Once you see how it elevates your look, you'll start reaching for them instinctively. I've linked a few beautiful mid-length options in the description box, styles that feel wearable, not costumey, and absolutely in line with the way Jackie used them. And speaking of small details with big impact, stay with me, because this last tip is something I never noticed in Jackie's outfits until I really studied them. It's tiny, it's easy to overlook, but once I saw it, it completely changed how I shop. You'll never look at a jacket or dress the same way again. Let me tell you about the one thing Jackie used consistently that changed the way I shop for clothes forever. Covered buttons. Yes, buttons. Sounds tiny, right? But trust me, this detail makes a massive difference in how an outfit looks and feels. Jackie rarely wore visible plastic or metal buttons. Instead, her coats, suits, and dresses almost always featured buttons that were covered in the same fabric as the garment. Why? Because they looked finished, seamless, custom. Once I noticed it, I couldn't unsee it. I started comparing similar pieces. 2 jackets, same cut, similar fabric, but one had basic plastic buttons and the other had covered ones. The difference in luxury was immediate. Covered buttons melt into the fabric. They don't interrupt the lines of the garment, and they instantly give even an affordable piece that couture feeling Jackie was known for. These days, I use covered buttons as one of my go-to signs of quality when I'm shopping. If I find a beautiful dress but it has cheap, shiny buttons, I ask myself, can they be replaced? Is the structure worth the investment? And when I find a blazer or coat with tonal, fabric-wrapped buttons already in place, that's usually a keeper. It's a detail you don't even realize you feel, but you do. I've even started updating pieces I already own. You'd be amazed what a $5 button switch can do. I once transformed a linen dress from fine to fabulous just by replacing the generic buttons with fabric-covered ones in the same shade. It looked tailored, elevated, like something Jackie herself would have chosen for a state dinner or a stroll in Paris. If you've never paid attention to buttons before, now's the time. And to make it easier, I've linked a few pieces in the description below that already feature beautiful covered buttons, just like Jackie's. No DIY needed, just that quiet, elegant detail that makes all the difference. If you loved Jackie's style wisdom, wait until you hear what Coco Chanel had to say. In my next video, I'm diving into Chanel's best fashion tips for women over 50, her views on simplicity, shape, and how to build real style from the ground up. So if you're craving more timeless fashion that works for you, not just the trends, you're going to love what's coming next.